Brought to you by Penguin.
A Cornish Summer by Catherine Alliott. Read by Gemma Whelan. Chapter 1. Celia peered nervously through the rain-spattered windscreen at the towering hedges lining the narrow lane we were snaking along. Sodden trees formed a dark canopy overhead. She wrapped her vintage silk shawl more tightly around her bony shoulders and gave a mock shiver. "Remind me again why I'm coming with you." I gave a small smile. "You know very well. To paint the swirling seas and the billowing blue skies, your words, I believe, to persuade me to let you come in the first place." "I had an idea it would all be bathed in golden hues and honey-coloured light, that's all," she said petulantly, gazing out into the gloom. "It is, for about 10 days a year," I told her cheerfully. "If we're lucky, we'll catch one of them." I gave her a bolshy grin, and her eyes widened in genuine alarm. "And for moral support," I reminded her. "Your words again, for which I'm super grateful. And don't worry, the weather will perk up. It's always a bit mercurial down here." "Yes, well..." She rearranged her shawl and slid her bottom forwards in the passenger seat beside me, setting her faded orange espadrilles on the dashboard. She lit a cigarette. "Can't have you entering the lion's den on your own, can we? Might never see you again. And anyway, I've heard too much about this famous family to pass up the chance." She dragged on her cigarette, narrowing her eyes contemplatively. "Actually, I might paint the old girl Belinda while you do Roger the Dodger. They won't know I only do landscapes, will they? I could do a Francis Bacon on her," she said suddenly, sitting up delighted. "All naked and bloody and flagellated, the final reveal coming to light in a dramatic spin of the easel. Can't you just see her face?" "She'd faint clean away," I told her as I hit the brakes. A speed camera heralded yet another grey, damp little village with opposing rows of blank-faced stone cottages, punctuated by the ubiquitous green spar at the end. Roger, on the other hand, might like it. "Oh, is he into bondage?" She glanced at me, encouraged. "Bit of a Max Mosley. The gentry often are." "I've no idea what his sexual predilections are, but he's certainly not the crusty old buffer you're imagining. He's quite open-minded." "Oh, good. I'll twinkle at him," she grinned. "See if I get a response." "Do not," I said nervously. Knowing Celia's charms of old, twinkling was mild within her repertoire. She chuckled darkly, flicking ash out of the window. "Don't worry, I'll be demure and saintly. I'm on my best behaviour, remember. Your ex-father-in-law is safe with me." "Is he an ex?" I wondered aloud. "I mean, Hugo's my ex, sure, but Roger is still Peter's grandfather, and I haven't remarried, so technically..." "Yes, but Peter's his blood. You're not." "True. Ridiculously, I still think of them as my in-laws. Isn't that weird?" "Beyond bonkers," said Celia cheerfully. "But then I think you prolong the whole relationship just to get up Christina's nose." "Absolutely not," I replied vehemently. "And anyway, nothing could get up Christina's nose," I added, somewhat ruefully. Christina, my ex-husband's second wife, a lovely, gracious creature, the soul of kindness, actually, had been nothing but tremendous to me and Peter, so inclusive and generous and uncomplicated, never questioning that I might want Hugo to go to every single rugby match at Peter's school, every parents' evening, every house play, with me beside him, of course, even persuading him to pitch up, and not to worry if it clashed with their own children's events. She'd go on her own. They were too young to mind. I told Celia so now. "Making sure he's perceived as the model divorced father," she said caustically, "just as Belinda and Roger are keen to be perceived by one and all as the model ex-in-laws and grandparents."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?